Good morning, sixth graders. Today is lesson 6 in language arts, and we are learning about, or not learning about, we are reviewing the way nouns are used. So there are 5 ways that our nouns function within a sentence that we are going to review today and make sure we know before we head into summer break. So I'm going to start with the first one on page 21. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to go over it, and then I'm also going to go over where we diagram the way it's functioning as well. So they have a diagramming part at the end, but I'm just going to go over the diagramming right away with the way the noun is functioning. So the first way we're going to cover is a predicate nominative. Do you guys remember what a predicate nominative is? Let's look at our definition. It is a noun that follows a linking verb, okay? Follows a linking verb, and it renames our subject. It's getting linked back to our subject, and it's renaming our subject. So they have Robespierre was a leader of the French Revolution. So Robespierre was a leader. Robespierre is our subject. And then notice leader is our predicate nominative because it's following a linking verb, which is was, which is going to go right here. Was Robespierre. Was, and then he was a leader. So that is our predicate nominative. Remember, predicate nominatives get diagrammed on the same line as our verb with the slanted line, because remember, it's in our predicate and it's getting slanted back to our subject, and it's renaming it, okay? So, remember, what's a predicate nominative? Read over your definition. It is a noun that follows a linking verb, and it renames our subject of our sentence. So, Robespierre was a leader of the French Revolution. Leader would be our predicate nominative, and remember, that's where we always diagram our predicate nominatives. On a slanted line, on the same line as a verb, on the same line as the verb with the slanted line going back to our subject. Now, another way our nouns are used are direct objects. Let's read our definition for a direct object. A direct object are nouns that follow a action verb, okay? Direct objects follow an action verb. And they receive the action from the verb, and they answer the questions whom or what. So in their example sentence, they have Joshua built a sandcastle on the beach. So Joshua is our subject. Joshua built is our action verb. And then remember our direct objects, they answer the questions whom or what, and they receive the action. So he built whom or what? He built our sandcastle. So remember our direct objects get diagrammed on the same line as our action verb, except this time it's not getting linked back to our subject, so we just use a straight line, and we're going to write sandcastle right there, all right? Joshua built a sandcastle. That's where our direct objects get diagrammed, all right? So remember, let's say our definition for direct object again. It is a noun that follows an action verb, and it receives the action from the verb, so it's taking on the action. And it answers the questions whom or what. Joshua built a sandcastle on the beach. He built what? He built a sandcastle, all right? So that's our direct objects. That's the second way they function. All right, and the third way they function is indirect objects, all right? So indirect objects, again, follow action verbs. Let's read our definition for what an indirect object is. It comes between the action verb and the direct object. So, in order for your sentence to have an indirect object, it has to follow an action verb, and it also has to have a direct object, because your indirect object comes between those things. And it receives the direct object. They answer the questions to whom and to what. So notice in their example sentence, the Constitution gives, what does it give? It gives power. So again, we're going to go like this. Constitution gives, and then what does it give? It gives power. So this is, power would be our direct object, what we just learned about, or what we just went over, not learned, because you guys already know all of this stuff. Constitution gives power, and then we ask, to whom? Who is receiving the power? To whom? It is given to the president. So indirect objects, remember, get diagram underneath our action verb with a little X right there. You do not have to put the X there. It's not wrong if you don't. But just to maybe help you guys remember, I'm putting X right there, and then gives president, and then gives the president, okay? So that is where our indirect objects get diagrammed on a, what looks like a prepositional phrase. It's actually a direct object, all right? That's where our direct objects get diagrammed. All right, and our fourth one is a noun of direct address. So if you flip over to page 22, you guys remember what a noun of direct address is? It names the person to whom the sentence is spoken. Nouns of direct address are set off from the rest of the sentence by commas. So if you look at their sentence, it says, "Oh, Mama, why didn't you call me for supper?" Harry asked. So nouns of direct address are to whom the sentence is being spoken to. So if I would say, Max, go wash your hands. Max would be our noun of direct address. And notice, noun of direct address are set off from the rest of the sentence by commas. So they're also set off in our diagramming as well. So if I would have this sentence right here, this is a sentence I said, I would say Max, which would have been our noun of direct address, and then I gave a command, right? So our subject would be you. I said, you go wash your hands. Your direct object, right? So this is where our noun of direct address would go. It's set off from the rest of our sentence diagram up there on that little line, okay? So remember, our noun of direct address is the name of the person to whom our sentence is being spoken to. All right, and last but not least, we have appositives, all right? You guys remember what appositives are? Sure you guys do. An appositive is a noun that follows the subject and it renames the subject without using a linking verb. So again, this doesn't follow any verb. Appositives are a noun that directly follow another noun and rename it, okay? So for their first example sentence, they have Thomas Jefferson, the author of the Declaration of Independence, liked to play the violin. So here we have Thomas Jefferson. And then sometimes, notice it says sometimes it can come as an appositive phrase. So remember, an appositive phrase is our positive with all of its modifiers, which would be the author of the Declaration of Independence. But notice that author is the noun within that appositive phrase that is renaming what Thomas Jefferson is. He's an author. So here we have author, and then anything that's describing or modifying that's within our positive phrase would go underneath it. So we'd have the, of, and Declaration of Independence. Yeah, Declaration of Independence would all go right up there to describe our positive, okay? So that is your lesson for today. You're reviewing 5 ways nouns are used. They're used as predicate nominatives, indirect objects, direct objects, nouns of direct address, and appositives, okay? That is all for lesson 6 today, and you guys have a new list of spelling words which are easily confused words. You have advice, picture, prophecy, hardy, later, advice, picture, prophecy, hardy, ladder, business, angle, immigrant, desert, breathe, busyness, angel, immigrant, desert, and breathed. So those are some easily confused words there for our section 2 spelling words. All right, that is all for your lesson for today. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you later.